Game started.
Jacques Diesel, a U.S. player. 9f3, let's try. Played e4 and d4 recently with white. Okay, well maybe we'll get a Reti. Yeah. Okay, not that I know how to play a Reti, but that's the system, c4, d5. So you've sort of encouraged your opponent to push his pawns forward, and then you're going to counterattack him. Now if I play e3 here to attack the pawn, is he going to just push his pawn onto d3? Maybe I'll stop it first. Probably unnecessary, because I think I see people playing d3 all the time. But I always e3 in similar situations, but I always worry about that pawn push to d3, making it difficult to develop. We can check that out in the postmortem. Okay, so let's take. So we get at least a little bit of an open file. So this is kind of like a reverse Benoni. Got the bishop here. I'll be able to castle, put a rook on e1, maybe get some pressure against the e-pawn, if he takes with a c-pawn. If he doesn't, then this is a symmetrical situation where black has a little more space. But I have this nice diagonal for my bishop, and my plan is to undermine the queenside. So let's... What should I start with? Let's start with the knight move. I'm going to play a3 and b4. I may need to prepare it, and I may want to get in the move knight to e4. Put some pressure on the c-pawn here. It's interesting that he's got this bishop already defending his c-pawn. Maybe I should put a rook on the e-file. Yeah, and he's ignoring my weakness on d3. A lot of times white will target that. With a move like bishop to f5, hitting the d-pawn. So, okay, he can trade off my light squared bishop. Can't really stop that. Let's get the rook here and see if I can manage to prepare b4. So b4 here. Pawn takes, bishop takes. Yeah, he's just got that covered. So I have to play a knight move first, at least. He may trade that one. Okay, takes here first. But I am thinking of something like bishop to d2 and then b4, gathering that space on the queen side. He's taken away my fine light squared bishop, so that advantage that I had is gone. Let's see. Yeah, he's still controlling b4. Aha. He's hitting my knight. And the knight doesn't have any good squares to go to, does it? Oh, I've done it again. So it has no squares at all. It can't go here, here, here. If it goes here, it gets taken. It goes here, it gets taken. It goes here, here, or here. It gets taken. I guess it can go here, but then he can kick it again with a pawn. Well, I won't lose it. It's defended there. And if he kicks it again, I can retreat all the way back to h3. And I can still get in the move b4, it looks like. There's also knight to e6 now, might be interesting. Hitting his rook. So if I play knight to e6, he moves his rook. Oh, he might go rook to f6. And then I don't really have a good square for the knight. Oh, the knight could come back to f4. He can play... he can always play g5, hitting it. And then I can go to... I think this is okay. from f4 I can go to d5, and that would hit the bishop. And I like that better than retreating back to h3, although from h3 it's still possible to come out to f4 and to get to d5 that way. But this way I do it with a bit of tempo on the rook. And now I'm on f4. Let's see, I can go here as well. h5, h3, g6. h5 just kicks the knight again, but doesn't seem to do a whole lot. And then back over here to d5. I like d5 because it puts pressure on this bishop here. Okay, so we moved the bishop. He's not really threatening to take. Well, maybe he is, but I can just take back with the bishop. Okay, so I can play b4 because if he takes, that removes one of the attackers, and so I'll remove one of the defenders, and we'll still have status quo over here. If he doesn't take, there may be a time when I want to jump into d5 here. Okay, he just took. That simplifies things a bit. He kicks the bishop. So I can go here. No, I can't because the knights take it. Here, okay. So probably just back. Bishop there, knight takes, rook. I could have gone there. Okay, would I rather take or play b5? If I take, he takes with the pawn. Opens up the b file. If I push, where's his knight going? His knight can go here or here. I think I'm going to push in this case. I'm going to kick that knight and kick this knight, and then I can play my knight to and then I can play my knight to d5 or e5 for what it's worth. Might be useful there. Knight e5 followed by f4. Maybe a way of opening things up for me a bit. Okay, so he ignored that. That's interesting. So if I take his knight, he can take back with the queen. He can take the pawn here. I think I should accept this piece sacrifice. If he takes with the queen first, I'll move my knight, hitting his queen. If he takes with the pawn first, now I can take back, and then he takes with the queen. I can still move my knight. Also, when his queen comes forward, he's leaving his knight hanging. So I just don't believe that sacrifice. Okay, so he didn't do either of those things. He brought his knight in. Okay, I'm going to... Well, if I take that pawn, he takes here with check. Let's go with knight e5 now. Hitting the queen and hitting the knight. So this should force some exchanges. And gets my rook to a good square. And now he can take here with the queen. And well, I can play queen to e1, which will lend some support to this diagonal, and also threaten a rook to e8. Queen e1, rook e8. After, for example, queen takes... Oh, we can't play queen takes g4. The queen is protecting it. So another idea might just be queen to f3 here. Okay, that rules that out. um, okay, if I just take here with the king, maybe I can play the move f3 later. He will probably double rooks on the f file, that's what I'm thinking. And I could also play rook f. Let's see, if he doubles rooks and I play f3, he takes, I take with the queen, he takes, I take. And it's a king, it's two rooks versus the queen. Yeah, so that's interesting. He's got, let's put my queen here. I want to cover all of these squares and also still threaten rook e1. Yeah, he played there anyway. I was thinking I could play here with check, but that's a problem. It's not a check when his knight is here and he can just bring his rook in here with check. So let's cover the g-pawn, block the diagonal of the queen, and then he can take. It'll be two rooks for a queen and a two rooks for a queen and a pawn if he takes. If he comes here check, I'll just step back and I think I'm okay. And I'll take it anyway. If he just comes here with check, I'll go ahead and take it with my queen.
Check.
He goes there, check. Okay. I don't know if that changed anything. I'm going to get rook f1 in and then maybe f3 or
check.
f4. Okay, so he's going for this line with
check.
Two rooks for the queen.
Check.
Now he gets the check here. Yeah. Oh, here's the problem. The problem is my rook is undefended. So if I go anywhere on the back rank, he's got a check. Picks up that guy. Unless I can get all the way here, which I can't easily do. If I go here, I guess this will end in a draw. But it's better than losing. I don't want to just give up the rook and lose. Which would be, if we look at the material, it's a rook, bishop, and pawn against the queen. So maybe I'm not, maybe it's not perpetual. Check here. I go this way. Check here. I go all the way here. And then on the last check, I can block with the rook or the bishop. Okay, so maybe I'm still winning. This move here with the rook turned out to be a good one. It's the defense of the g-pawn is very important here, because otherwise check, and it could take there and prevent my king from retreating. But basically my path is to bring my king here and get away from the checks, and then the rook will be defended. Yeah, I won't even have to block. If I get to this square, the check, I can go back to c2. Defend everything, and the two rooks and bishop against the queen should be a winning advantage. Let's see, he's thinking, okay, let's check and make sure he's still connected. I'm connected.
Check.
Okay, there he goes. So yeah, everything's defended.
Check.
I've been on a losing streak lately, so it'd be nice to get a win in if I can get one in. See, my rating has dropped down to 1360 there. Defends the pawn too, and attacks the queen. And now the rook can come out. And with the two rooks, I should be able to mop up pretty easily. Might keep the bishop back here to help protect my king. prevent his queen from getting in. Okay, yeah, just go there. That's fine. So now check, and I'll win the queen. But there weren't, I don't know if there were any good squares for the queen to go to. It's under attack. Like, it could have stayed down here.
Black resigns.
Yeah, so
Check.
it should be an easy win from this point. So anyway, I will upload this and do a postmortem. I hope you guys enjoyed it. See you later. Bye.